David, and I have some good news for you. I have finally come to an agreement with my papa to build a cabin behind the pond in the woods, probably about 3/4 away to the property line that's in the back of the woods. So we're actually going to be clearing out a bunch of land. He'll be videoing. He's a 78-year-old silver fox. He'll be videoing some with me, and then we'll be kind of going through this whole process. So just a standard flathead shovel. There's a rake there. I have a weed eater. I have a pole saw attachment for my weed eater. It helps getting stuff that's not going to be easily cut by. We got a top handle chainsaw. This one's a Husqvarna. Works really good when the blade's sharpened. And then this is actually if you don't want to go spend a bunch of money on a chainsaw, because you can spend as much as you want to, this is actually a Blackmax chainsaw that I got from Walmart. It's an 18-inch chain on it. It works really well. I've sharpened the chain on it once, and I've probably had it, I mean, you can see some rust that's been kept, something was sitting on it, but I've had it for a while. But this is basically what I'm going to be using. I have an axe right there as well, a cooler full of water, and in there is my camping box. It's some stuff to cook with in case we get hungry down there in the woods. Well, when we get hungry down there in the woods. So that's really all I'm going to be taking down there with me. And also, at any time during this video, if you have a question about something that I'm doing, or a method or a process, or think there's a better way to do it, please drop a comment below and let me know, because it could be something that could help me that I haven't thought of yet. So I'm all about learning better ways to do things, more efficient ways to do things, and this is going to be a new experience for all of us. I was down here a few days ago, and there was probably about a 5-foot water moccasin, which is not something that you want walking around, or you want to be walking around. So I got my 410. This is actually, I don't even know what kind this is. A Rossi. Yeah, made in Brazil. Anyway, it's my first ever gun, my first shotgun ever, and I bought it when I was in 6th grade, and I carved my initials into the bottom of it. But I bought it when I was in 6th grade. I was in FFA, and we showed hogs and pigs and cows and whatever else, and my first hog show, I won probably like a couple $100, and I went and bought this. I remember I paid like $65 for it. So it's my first gun. So down here, we're right on the other side of Mom's house. A lot of these tree limbs have just been kind of drugged down here. This area down here kind of turns into a catch-all when anybody's cleaning up or whatnot. So I actually weed eated around here. We used to, this has kind of been our shooting range for forever, really. But I brought my weed eater down here and cleaned it all up. I mean, it was probably waist high. Cut a bunch of these limbs down. Now what you're looking at now is, it looks real messy, but it's so clean. You could not see the water from where I'm standing 2 days ago. You couldn't see the water. You couldn't see the bank on the other side 2 days ago. It all looked like this. It was all just all this underbrush and everything that was blocking your view. And man, these trees, they grow so quick, especially down here when their roots get down to the water table. Everything really grows fast. So in a couple years, if we don't keep this maintained, and my plan is to keep it under control, but if we don't, then it really turns into a mess. So where these tree limbs are, where I'm standing, all of this was very, very grown up. You can see I've come through and cut a bunch of this down. Cut some of these limbs out of this tree. It was all as thick as that over there. And so another kind of idea I've been throwing around, because this oak tree is massive, is to clean it all out. Maybe put some sort of treehouse platform up in it. I mean, it'd be the perfect tree to do it, but all this right here, all this underbrush, it's got to go. And a lot of this is small trees and all, but a lot of this is vines as well. See, when I was cutting, I mean, you can still see all the hanging vines. And when I was cutting all this down, I would cut one of these trees down and it wouldn't even fall. I wouldn't even be able to push it because the top was so intertwined in vines, and not just like kudzu vines or thorns, but vines just from this huge oak tree right here. Welcome to the woods if you've never stepped foot out of a concrete jungle somewhere. Speaking of vines, no, my gun is on safety, by the way, while I'm walking down here. It's also in my hand like this, so if well, it's not on safety, but it's not cocked. It is loaded. We are practicing gun safety. So, oh wow, there's a bass. There's a bass right there. He's probably 1.5 pounds, maybe 2 pounds. There's another one. There's a few swimming out there. I mean, this place has got fish in it. There's 4. Oh guys, I wish I could zoom in. Can you see this? Can you see this fish right here in the water? Oh, there's 2 or 3 just swimming over there. There's that guy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So right now, and I hate that I can't just, I'm using a GoPro, so I can't just zoom in. Right now I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I see 7 largemouth bass that anybody would be proud to catch. Eight, 9, 10. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's talk about management for a second. Pond management. Some of these guys need to be called out of here. Some of these guys need to be called out of here for sure. You know what? I think that's what oh, I see a big catfish. Let's see if we can get over there to him. All this I've weed eated as well. Weed eated. Oh yeah. Can you see him right there? He's swimming into the shadow. Wow. Incredible. Incredible that in this little bitty mud hole, there's that many fish. So the original plan of Papa was that all of the water line would be up to that second ridge right there, and all of this should be underwater. Originally that was the plan. That's why it was dug out. So the dam, there's the dam on the other side, all the way down. It's pretty high. So from where my feet are, from where I'm standing, I'm maybe 6-8 inches above the water line of the pond. Okay, that dam is about 10 to 11, 12 feet even above the water. And so if you can just imagine with me for a second, now when it rains real hard, we've had rains come through to where it rains for you know, 4 or 5 days just straight, and this place will fill up and water will be all the way up to there. But it doesn't stay. Within a week or two, you know, sometimes a little longer, it's all that water seeps out through the dam because they didn't core it with clay. And all that seeps out into the woods down in the back. So man, there's so many brim right here. So, and that's probably what a lot of these bass are feeding on. That and crawfish. They'll be, well, crayfish, if you will. You'll hear different people call them different things, crawfish and crayfish. But I'm probably gonna have a largemouth bass for lunch today. So stay tuned. I just caught this guy. So I have a bait caster. Some of you might know what that is, some of you don't, but this is a spinning reel. I'm just showing them your reel. Oh. This is a spinning reel, that's what it looks like. And this guy is a bait caster, or a spider web, as it looks to be right now. But anyway, I cast it over in that corner and my line got all tangled up. There's that, oh, that's that catfish. My line got all tangled up, so I started pulling at the reel and it actually broke. And I started pulling on my line because, you know, I needed to pull that lure in. This guy was on the other end of it. So don't ever give up. So we've been fishing for probably about too long, and we've only got 2 fish. So I got a largemouth bass, and then Jacob has a brim or a sunfish or a bluegill, whatever y'all want to call it. Some people call them bluegill. I call them appetizers. But they're in the cooler right now. And we've played around enough. I say it's time to get to cutting some trees down. Kind of kick things off. Pond's behind me right here. This whole side, I want to clear the whole thing up. So all this underbrush, these small oaks, and then when all that's done and cleaned up, I'm actually going to come back and use all these pine trees for my cabin all the way over there. So it's putting what I have to good use and using what I can, using what I have. So it's gonna be a lot, but it'll be good. So here we go.